What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be testing out the brand new SSR character Vespa here in Tower of God New World. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and also turn on post notification bells so that you guys can always stay tuned as when I post new videos. I'd really appreciate it. If you're new here on the channel, I make various videos and guides on multiple games such as Ether Gazer. So if you guys are interested in those type of games, you can go ahead and click the channel down below and start watching those videos. And if you guys have any questions, I created a Discord server and the server link will be in the channel description. So if you guys want to join, you can join the server by clicking the link and you can join, and I will also post the link in the comment section as well. But anyways, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right into the video. So if you guys haven't watched my summon video, I was able to obtain Vespa, and I was able to obtain around like 4 copies of her. So I was able to bring her up to 1 blue star. And unfortunately, I was unable to get this SSR Plus right here. Once again, my SSR Plus luck is just garbage once again. And I was able to get a couple copies of Yiwa and hats and Bam as well. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get copies of Barum. But anyways, Vespa. So I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna test her out in the trial event. So we're basically going to get, you know, the basics of her kit. Now I already completed this, but let's go through this trial again so we can get, you know, a better idea of what she's able to do on the battlefield. So basically, if you miss with the hive, you get the stinger, whatever. Let's use Honeybee Vespa to paralyze a knock and disrupt her skill use. So first, lay the groundwork with a weak point strike. So the first thing she's going to do is put a weak point strike. Now, when she lands that weak point strike, it's a skill that can paralyze the enemy after 20 attacks. So basically, when you want to use her special skill, you really want to use her special skill early, because she's not able to paralyze the opponent immediately. She has to land 20 attacks in order for the opponent to get paralyzed. So once she lands this paralyze on the enemy, there's going to be like a countdown basically based off of how many attacks Vespa landed on the enemy. So if you guys are wondering, you know, well, it's going to take a while for her to paralyze because she has to do 20 attacks. Well, the good thing about her special skill is she has a thing called Bee Swarm. And Bee Swarm, basically, she's going to summon these little bees that are going to do continuous damage over time. And they're going to do they're basically going to deal damage every second. So for her to reach to that 20 attack is going to be quick because she's dealing damage every second. So now let's poison a knock using Deadly Sting. So we're going to go ahead, use her special skill, and she's going to use her Poison Sting. And as you can see right here, the icon on top of Anok's health bar is the stun. When you attack her, the countdown is going to decrease, and then once it reaches to, like, you know, once it's fully black, that means she's going to get stunned and she's going to get paralyzed, and Anok won't be able to use her special skill. So I was wondering whether or not Vespa was able to interrupt special skills. The answer is yes, she's able to disrupt special skills. So if Evan uses his special skill, Vespa is able to interrupt that. And that is absolutely huge because Evan's immortality is like a game-changing ability. So the fact that she's able to disrupt that, that's really insane. So targets hit by Deadly Sting or poison and have their swiftness decreased, then they are paralyzed. So when she lands that Deadly Sting, the opponent, their swiftness is going to decrease and they're going to be paralyzed. You can't even remove this effect, which makes things super frustrating for anyone on the receiving end. So you basically cannot remove this debuff. And Anok was hit by this special move. So as you can see, Anok's swiftness is decreased and she's attacking slowly, and she's going to cast her special move. And as you can see, the paralyze is going to affect. This is an invaluable effect in PvP. So this is like the most crucial part about Vespa, is the paralyze. As you can see, Anok is about to use her special skill. And Vespa's defense increases as the number of yellow element teammates increase. So the more yellow teammates you have on your team, the more her defense increases. And that's important. I will talk about that later after this little tutorial. As you can see, boom, she couldn't cast her special skill because she got paralyzed. And whenever Vespa's HP is low, she's going to like heal herself to provide constant damage debuff immunity to nearby allies. So when her HP is low, she's going to regain HP, and then she's going to give a constant damage debuff immunity to nearby allies. So whoever's around her is going to get that immunity. So as you can see right here, boom. So I feel like the best thing about this character is that she's able to interrupt special skills. And in terms of damage, she's not really the best in terms of damage. Like if you're trying to focus on getting a character that can do a lot of damage, you should really focus on getting Yiwa or Hats or Hwarun, because those characters can do a lot of damage. But if you're focusing on interrupting enemy attacks and you don't want your enemies, you know, to cast their special move, you really want to focus on getting Vespa, because Vespa is a really good unit to interrupt enemy attacks. So we're going to come into arena simulation. Now I was testing her with a couple teams. The first thing I want to do is that I want to put her up against Evan so I can show you guys how she's able to disrupt Evan's immortality. So we're going to put her against Evan, and we're going to go ahead and start the battle. So as soon as you see her special skill, you want to immediately cast it so that when Evan is going to use his special skill again, she can just, you know, interrupt him. So let's go ahead and cast it. There it is. All right, so now Evan has the paralyzed meter on top of his health bar. So now he's going to cast his special move, and look, he was interrupted and he wasn't able to do it. And the most interesting part is that health, the paralyze is still on top of Evan's health bar, so you can't remove it. So basically, the more she attacks you, the more she can just interrupt you. So basically, when you're going up against a Vespa, you might not be able to use your special skill at all, because she can just instantly, like, she could just consistently interrupt you and she'll be able to kill you. So this character will be a really good character in terms of CCing your units. Like, she's a good character to completely cancel out your ally units special skills. So we're gonna go ahead and remove Evan. Now the best team that I can think of for her right now is a team that includes yellow units, and the reason why is because the more yellow units you have on your team, the more defense she'll get. So we're gonna put in Vespa right here, we're gonna put in Data Mashini, we're gonna put in Hats. And the reason why I put Hats instead of Yiwa is because Yiwa is a unit that stays in the back, and the fact that Yiwa is a unit that only stays in the back row, she doesn't charge in the front line, Vespa is going to take a lot of damage with Data Mashini. So you want to use Hats because Hats is going to charge in with Vespa and Data Mashini, so therefore the enemies, they're going to focus on Hats as well, so that Vespa won't take a lot of damage. And we're going to put in Bam as well, so that Bam could, you know, buff up Hats damage. This is the best team that I can honestly think of right now. You don't want to pair her up with Yiwa, because if you pair her up with Yiwa, she's going to die immediately, and I'm going to show you guys that. And I tested her out with Hwarun, and she's not bad with Hwarun, but you basically have to really count on RNG in order for her to win with Hwarun. Now I'm going to put in that as a hard, Evan Kill, Evan, and of course Hwarun over here. Now let's go ahead and test this team. Now this team can lose sometimes. This team doesn't have a 100% win rate, of course, but Vespa's survival in this team is honestly pretty good. Like, her survivability is really solid in this team. Let's go ahead and use Data Mashini, use Hats, and then let's immediately use Vespa's special skill so that she can interrupt that as a hard. There we go. And then Hats. All right, Evan, can you please cast your skill? Nice. All right, looking nice. As you guys can see, that is a hard. she's literally continuously attacking Data ZAHARD. Now Hat's died, which is unfortunate. So the biggest thing about her in this team is that, as you can see, we lost that. But the biggest thing about her, like my biggest problem with her is her damage. Now her damage over time, it's really not that good. As you guys can see, her damage really isn't that good. But in terms of her survivability and be able to do, you know, to interrupt enemies, it's really solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna test that out again. I'm gonna put that in auto mode because we were able to clear that in auto mode last time. But her damage is really not that good. So don't really have your hope, like don't have high hopes for her to have good damage, because I feel like she's not a character that's really focused on damage. She's a character that's mostly focused on shutting down enemies and making them not use their skill. And as you can see, when her health is low, she's going to regain HP. All right. Okay, so Evan was able to cast his ultimate. Now, she's not going to be able to counter Evan that much because Evan is going to be in the back row. So she won't be able to go to the back row and, you know, CC Evan. But as you can see, we were able to clear out half of the enemy units with this team. We were able to clear out Hwarun, which is actually nice. But that is a hard literally can't even cast his special skill because she's continuously interrupting his special skill. So as you can see, he's going to try to do it, and boom, that is a hard immediately stunned. So she is a great unit in terms of stunning units. Like, I feel like she's going to be really, really good in PvP because she's just going to continuously stun enemy units, which is honestly nice. So that is a hard was able to land a special skill. Data Mashni died, but I think we can still win this. Alright, as you can see, that is hard is literally dead. So basically, the way you want to use Vespa is you really want to use her as an interrupting unit. You don't want to use her as, you know, a damage dealing unit. So would I recommend you guys to get a lot of copies on her? No, don't do it. In my opinion, I feel like you should get her to at least 3 blue stars or 1 purple star. But really don't really focus on getting a lot of copies on her because she's not really a damage dealing unit, because her damage is really not that good. You just want to use her for like interrupting enemies, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna test her out in arena real quick. And I'm gonna put her in rank arena. Actually no, let's put her in regular arena and let's test her out with this team. So I'm gonna take out, wait, actually no, that's my defense team. I'm not gonna change that. Who should we go up against? Okay, so this person has a Rainbow Yuri. I feel like this would be the okay, I think we should test her out with this team for sure. So we're gonna put her in right here. We're gonna take out Hwarun. We're gonna put in Bam. Put Bam right here. Yeah, we're gonna put Bam right here, and then we're gonna put in Hats over here. So this is the team that we should put. Actually, I think I'm gonna put her over here because I want her to cancel out Evan Kell's ultimate, her special skill. So let's go ahead and test and see how this battle will end up. All right. Okay. So hopefully she can cast her special skill immediately so that she can cancel out Evan Kell's special skill. Okay, so 2 of our characters died, which isn't good. Okay. Interesting. Data Mashni died, and she died as well. So, okay. At this point, I'm going to continue so I can see the stats. So, my biggest concern with her is, of course, her survivability. Because if you don't have her in a yellow team, then she won't have a lot of defense, and I feel like that will make her extremely squishy. So in arena, I don't really know how she'll be in arena, that was a bad performance, right? That was actually kind of bad. Let's test her up against another team. Okay, this person has a rainbow hats. We're not gonna beat that. Okay, 1.5. Okay, I feel like this is okay. I feel like this is way more better. So we're gonna put her up against this guy right here, and let's see how we're able to do with this team. All right. Come on, load up. They need to fix the loading screens. All right. Okay, see, she's able to do some decent damage. All right, I feel like we were able to beat this easily because the other team, their power level is pretty low. Yeah, I feel like Arena's not the best way to test out these characters. I'm going to test her out in adventure mode instead. But we were able to win that, so not bad. We were able to win that, but of course her damage is really just not that good. Like, I feel like she's not a damaged character at all. But in terms of survivability and, you know, providing debuffs, she's honestly pretty good. So we're going to go over here to adventure and let's test her out over here instead. So I'm going to take out Iwa. We're going to put her in instead, and we're going to take out Jaja, and we're going to put in Hats over here, and we're going to put in Bam. All right, I feel like this is a lot better. All right, so this guy, he's going to one-shot. So I'm going to put Data Mashini over here because that guy one-shots. So I feel like this should be a good lineup. Okay. So hopefully our Bam doesn't die. All right. Nice. Okay, Bam died, unfortunately. Evan with the immortality. And now she's landing her skill, but that guy, Amigo, died, so her paralyze is basically useless right there. She's pretty low. I think she's gonna die here. Nah, she healed herself up. Nice. Okay, I think we cleared this. So I think putting in Hwarun would be a better option because Bam just dies immediately in his team. I feel like in the end game, Bam would be the better option, but for now, I feel like we should just put in Hwarun instead. So we're gonna test out Hwarun to see how good she is with this team. Yeah, let's put her in, and let's put Data Mashini back in the middle. All right, let's see how she can do with Hwarun. All right. So she's able to deal some decent damage because of the weak point. All right, she got her skill in, which is nice. Can Evan please cast his skill? I hate when Evan does this. He literally does combos instead of casting his special skill. All right, so he's able to land it. Nice. All right, so interesting. Her performance is actually not that bad. Like, she's able to do a lot because she's providing that constant damage debuff, and her damage is kind of mid. Not gonna lie, it's kind of mid. But I feel like the most important thing about her is her passive skill. Not her passive skill, but her special skill, because she's able to poison enemies and also interrupt. I feel that's like the best part about her skill. I mean, her kit, and she's able to provide that immune to status effects. So that's actually kind of nice. I did not mean to click replay right there. We're gonna exit out of that, and we're gonna see if we can clear a boss level with this team. So she seems like she's gonna be pretty solid with Hwarun. With Yiwa, I don't think so. So now we're gonna have to use two teams here. All right, so we're gonna use Vespa right here. We're gonna use Data Mashini. We're gonna put in Hats over here, Hwarun, and then we're gonna put in Evan. For team 2, we're gonna put in Yiwa right here. We're gonna put you right here. We're gonna put you right here. We're gonna put Bam right here, and we're gonna put in Wingman. So let's go ahead and test and see how this team is able to do. All right. So hats charging in. Okay, she got the swiftness buff with Hwarun, which is nice. Hwarun died immediately. Okay. I don't think we're gonna clear this. Her damage is just not that good. Like, the poison is just not that much. Like, the poison damage is just not enough. So as you can see, we lost there because our Hwarun died immediately. Interesting. So now we got round 2. And of course Rack is gonna die immediately. Rack is such a squishy unit, man. We need a future tank unit that can just do so much damage. We don't have to worry about not so much damage, but take a lot of damage, not worry about dying instantly, like Rack. This guy with the shield is a problem as well. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And we'll just go ahead and end that. So we weren't able to clear that, which is actually interesting. So basically, my final thoughts is that it seems like she's going to work in a couple teams, but it seems like you're really going to have to rely on RNG, because sometimes she's going to be good with Hwarun and sometimes she's going to be good with Bam. But my honest opinion on this character is that if you're an opponent, like, okay, if you are a new player, I would recommend you guys to not summon for this character because her damage is just not that good. But if you are like a veteran player, like if you've been playing this game since launch and you're chilling through the game, you're breezing through the game, you should, I feel like you should get this character if you're focusing on shutting down enemies' special skills. Like if you're having issues with, you know, Evan constantly countering your team because of his immortality, I feel like you should use her because she literally shuts down Evan and she shuts down ZAHARD as well. So I feel like she's a great unit in terms of applying debuffs and healing herself and survivability. I feel like she's really good, but in terms of damage, I feel like she's not really good in terms of damage because her damage, like the poison, the constant damage over time is just not enough. So not bad. She's not a bad character. I'll say that she's pretty balanced because the SSR units that we've had so far in the game, we've had, you know, Hwarun, Yiwa. These characters have been absolutely busted. So I feel like so far she's a balanced unit. Like she's not really broken and she's not really trash. She's pretty much balanced. Like she's in the middle. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she's able to interrupt, which is actually nice. And she's able to provide constant damage immunity because I'm pretty sure later on in the future, there's going to be a unit that's going to rely on constant damage, and Vespa is going to be a good unit to counter constant damage. So really solid character. She's pretty much balanced. I don't think she's a bad character. I think she's going to be a unit where we're gonna have to test her for a while in order to jump into a conclusion. But for now, I feel like she's a pretty solid character. She's not bad. I'm gonna have to test her out even more. But yeah, put your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Vespa is a solid unit, or is she bad? I want to see you guys' opinions. But anyways, I'll be leaving the video at that. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.